Well, hey
What's
Joe.
up, Loki?
No, not much, Mike. How you doing today? Hey Joe, it's Miss
I'm
Love.
good, man. I'm good. Hey, Joe, Miss Luck,
Hey.
Jamie.
Hey. Oh man.
Good
So
to see you
hey,
guys. Oh, we got Lori's World here.
hey Lori, Victoria. Damn. So I'm surprised somebody popped in that quick. Especially on
Yeah,
a half planned last minute. Oh yeah, that's right.
yeah. Let's get our show going.
Oh,
I appreciate everybody that comes and watches and supports.
oh, definitely. And yes, Joe, we were late, but the aliens were trying to probe us, so we had to run.
To be clear, they weren't trying to probe me. I don't know what. I don't know what was happening over there in his neck of the woods.
Oh, just came off this big bus. Okay.
Oh, too funny.
Lori.
Nope, nope, nope.
Oh,
Too funny. Too
oh,
funny.
goodness. Oh man. Oh,
So we got a little bit of an interesting show. We'll give it a little bit and see who's all going to come in before we dive into it. But this will kind of be our foundation for our shows going forward. We'll be able to reference this back later. So
yeah. Well, thank you, Janie. Saying yeah, so there is a whole lot of other things that we want to talk about in the future. I said, but this one will kind of springboard. We'll wind up springboarding off of this foundation quite a lot, I think, especially after some things that I was just shown.
yeah, I just blew Loki's mind, and he's back there just like holy shit.
Yeah,
So
my mind is still running as fast as it's capable of at the moment, uh, tripping over itself.
you'll get a pretty first-hand look at Loki grasping what we're about to talk about. It's something that I've been researching for a while and talking about for a while, but I was able to basically prove it to Loki, and I will prove it to you guys as well.
Well, and I mean, I believed you. I just had no idea of the actual scale. Uh, when you guys hear the money figures that go along with all this crap, you're going to be sitting here with your head spinning about like I am right now.
Oh man, I got I did not sing Phil Collins. That did not happen at all. I
How
did I did
absent
how
when you do these
I did
surgeries?
however sing I wear my sunglasses at night.
Hey, little Corey Hart, nothing wrong with that.
You know, Tim came running through the living room with the sunglasses on at like midnight,
Mm-hmm.
so it was fitting. Yeah, I just admitted it. I just said it. I don't have a Phil Collins voice. Apparently, I sound like Mr. Fusion. I've heard quite a few people say that I sound like Fusion.
Yeah, I mean, I can hear similarities in the voices. They're definitely different to my ears, but there is a little bit of similarity. I think you
Have
guys
you ever
probably
seen me and Mr. Fusion on a panel together, though? There could be.
you start another
Could be
conspiracy theory.
I
Oh.
I am not Fusion.
Oh, I say you better watch it. We might have to invite Fusion up one of these days just to disprove that one.
I did rickroll a fusion though recently.
You rickrolled everybody's ass. Well, hey nephew, how you doing? Good to see you here.
Hey, spokesman. It's good to see you, brother.
Oh man. Oh.
And Victoria, you have earned permission to call people jackass too. Feel free.
Oh. I say including us.
You're more than welcome. More than welcome. The other thing I'll touch on real quick while we're waiting for people to potentially show up. We will be going on Luna's channel tonight, The Den, and giving away a couple of raffle tickets over there. So if anybody would like to join, we can have either Lori or Victoria drop the link to where we'll be. I believe we'll be there at 9 o'clock Eastern time over on Luna's.
Okay. Oh, it's actually good to know because I didn't actually hear about this till yesterday myself. So
Well, I don't know if you heard it or not, but there is no more. We got rid of all of our raffle tickets. We have quite a
oh
bit
yeah,
still that were donated that we have to give away, but there's no more for sale. So we're getting close to the end. We'll be doing the raffle here shortly.
no, I was actually in the chat when the last few got bought up, and it was like, what? Oh, really? Oh, okay.
So, and then I've been working on procuring a vehicle for a raffle potentially in the spring.
Very
So
cool.
we may have one more raffle before we get into vehicles, but we should be starting that vehicle giveaway here before too long.
I say that's happening a lot quicker than I expected it would, but not going to complain too loud.
Yeah, we'll see. I'm hoping to pick up the vehicle in October, and then I'll drive it / get it ready for giveaway, and then hopefully in the spring we can add that one to the list of things we're giving away.
Okay, we're still probably at least one more drawing away from doing the vehicle then. So
Yeah, we'll probably have one more in between before the first vehicle, and then depending on how the vehicles go, it may be a vehicle every time. And I'd like to get to a point where we can give away like brand new Corvettes or brand new Escalades or whatever, but we have to build up pots of money before we can get to that.
you got to start small and so get the funds built up to buy the bigger toys.
What's up, Sin?
Como eat ass to you too, Sim.
That's his favorite thing to do.
Now, Sin's kind of in the same boat as Duck, I would think. I think he would definitely clap the alien butt cheeks.
I imagine.
Joe, we told
Joe.
You won the 4th place prize. The Target gift cards for Bud Light have been sent out. They got faxed.
If you would like, though, we'll donate Lori's fucking TV from 2003 that takes up 500 square feet. You're welcome to that TV.
You just got to go pick it up.
Yeah, the shipping would be more than it would cost to ship a car, but it's yours if you want it.
Fucking alien. Thank you for posting that link, Victoria. Hey, Kayla.
Hey, Kayla, welcome.
Oh man.
All right. Do we want to start diving? We're about 10 minutes in. You want to start diving into it, Loki?
Sure, sounds good.
All right. I'll start it out. Kind of the founding. We intend to talk about BlackRock. I know a lot of people have heard about BlackRock and what they're in control of, but BlackRock is a investment, uh, say like conglomerate or group, if you will. They were founded in 1988. There are 7 controlling members of this group. I don't want to butcher names. I'll just name a few that I can say. Larry Fink, Susan Wagner, Barbara Novick, Keith Anderson, and the other ones I just can't pronounce, so I don't want to misspeak on them. But they founded it in 1988, and BlackRock is managing. And this is the really hard part. So I'll break this down. BlackRock is managing more than 3.61 quadrillion. And they currently control 4,751 companies in a Fleming portfolio. Now, to give those numbers perspective, 3.61 quadrillion, the annual GDP for the United States, that's the money that we make as a country, is only $3 trillion. That's what America makes in a year, about $3 trillion. This company is managing more than 3.61 quadrillion. And that should be a very, very shocking number to people.
Just to put that, hey Amanda, just to put that in perspective, that is literally 350 times the GDP of the United States. So they could literally buy and sell the entire United States or any country or all countries that they wanted to at a given moment.
Yeah, and so what I find interesting, and if you want to throw up the overlay, we'll kind of show these are about 100 of the companies that they own. Also, hey, what's up, Amanda and Chris? Saw you showed up.
Hey, Chris.
So these are just kind of a small list of the companies that they control. Now, when you say they own them, they don't necessarily own them, but they have a controlling stake in their stocks. And so, like, when you're seeing a lot of this cancel culture and different things, I'm not saying necessarily that this company is the one that is responsible for it, but if you own a controlling stake in X, Y, and Z company, and you say, you do this, or I'm going to sell off all your stock, that means it would cripple your company. So, like Bud Light, for instance, that whole go woke or go broke crap, they did their thing and they lost 28% of their gross for that company.
Yeah.
But if they didn't listen to what they were told to do, they could have lost their entire company. So is it better to take a 28% loss, or is it better to just, essentially do what your stockholders tell you?
Yeah. I say, which I'm sure whoever, BlackRock or whoever, could easily make that right in the back streets, more or less. Okay, you lost $30 billion. Well, here's 20 of it back just to make you feel good. Or even pay the...
And then, yeah, exactly. And then the thing in this particular schematic that I find really interesting is, if you look over on the right-hand side, they own Time Warner Cable, Fox News, CNN, MSNBC. And that's pretty much all of the media corporations that we listen to. And so when you flip-flop between each one of those, you think that you're being, like I'm listening to both sides of the news, but both sides of the news are coming from this company.
Yeah, both sides of the news basically are controlled by this individual company. Hey, Stax. Well, good luck with that, Joe. But that does mean you're
Sorry,
screwed.
Dan. Sorry,
Grab
Dan. There's
the,
nothing we can do to help you on that.
grab the lube, buddy. Oh, I say it's something like I was saying earlier. The amount of companies that they've got up here on this list. I mean, I don't know how well it's actually coming through on the YouTube side, how well people can see it, but look at the manufacturing companies up there: Honeywell, Raytheon, Boeing, uh, and the list goes on. And these
Ford, Tesla.
Ford, exactly. These DuPont. These are companies that build everything. I mean, there's not a house in the world. Hey, Colt, appreciate you, brother. Lacey. Uh, these are companies
What's
like
up, JR?
take Honeywell for an example. There is not a home built today or a building built today that does not have some Honeywell technology built into it. You know, pick one of any of these. They've got a piece of your home. KBR is a massive construction and supply group. Oh gods.
Well, and then communications. You have Verizon, Qualcomm. You know, they're the ones providing your internet service, your phone service throughout the country.
I see your entertainment. Qualcomm, the news channels. Oh, good grief. Netflix. I mean, all of it.
Yeah, Walmart's on there.
So's Home Depot and Lowe's. So even when you go to buy shit to repair your house, they've got a piece of it.
Mm-hmm. And then the other thing that I find interesting, though, also about this list, is because they own all the news, which is fine. Like I understand that, right? They own the news, but then you look over what we went through the last 2.5 years. The news agencies are the ones that talked about everything that was going on with COVID and everything. But this company also, if you look, they own Moderna, they own Pfizer, they own AstraZeneca, they own 3M. And so the same companies that are pushing, and I'm not debating whether or not COVID was real or fake. What I'm saying is they reported on it, and then they reported on it, they sold you a problem, but then that same company sold you the solution. Wear a 3M mask. Go to Pfizer and get your vaccine. Go to Moderna to get your vaccine.
Yeah.
This company benefited from it all.
On all sides of it. Literally, on all sides of the solution and the problem. They had their fingers in all of it. Hey, Red Eye. A little bit of a conspiracy.
What up, Red Eye? And then the other thing that we witnessed over the last 3 years is just all the small businesses across the country were basically shut down. But look at the list on just this list. Look who's owned. Amazon, massive profits from COVID. Walmart, massive profits from this situation.
Yeah.
Uber, massive money made.
I didn't even notice those. Like I say, I'm still looking through this list going, wait a minute, what the? Holy shit. And then, like I say, when you put into perspective the United States GDP versus the GDP of just BlackRock, a factor of exactly right, I follow the money. I say, when BlackRock literally has 350 times the capital as the largest country in the world? Stacks, they do. You can look it up for yourself. It's out there. Hey, Chad, Corona.
Yeah. Yeah, so Stacks, the way that they control these is they don't. I'm not saying that these companies they buy the stock in the company, and they buy enough where they're the controlling owners.
Yeah.
So I don't think any of these companies are necessarily bad on the surface. I think that they were bought up and basically forced to do certain things. Yeah, it's interesting. And then for the people that just came in, some of the numbers we said in the beginning, BlackRock is managing more than 3.61 quadrillion, and they're currently controlling 4,751 companies in their Fleming portfolio.
Yeah, and when Mike says controlling, he means they have a controlling stock share in those companies. So that could be 51%, that could be 30%, but they are the major shareholder in those companies. Hey, Stack, I've been out for a couple of weeks. I wish. I am stone cold sober for this one. Tell you true. Hey, KV.
Yeah. Yeah, it's well, and then like I said, I wanted to also touch on Vanguard, but Vanguard's similar. There's a schematic like this, and it shows what they have control and interest in. But Vanguard is small potatoes in comparison to what BlackRock owns.
Yeah,
and controls.
I thought I was actually onto something by finding that State Street was another company like BlackRock, but again, they're just a subsidiary.
Yeah. In coronavirus, that name is already the name you were asking for. Sitting Bull is already taken. That's the name of my Suburban. If you Google image Sitting Bull, my Suburban does come up from the guy I bought it from. It's like in the first few, there'll be some Native American pictures, and then there'll be a picture of my Suburban.
Well, damn, Stacks. I'm just saying.
So we need to add Stack 727 logo in this schematic here.
Yeah. Stick it up. We need a bigger.
But just also for the people that are listening, this is only roughly 100 companies that they're showing here. These are kind of the bigger ones. They own smaller ones. I can probably compile a list. It's not really necessary, but as we go forward in our channel or on this show, we'll be talking about certain events, and some of these events will ties to BlackRock. And so to me, this is kind of just a foundational thing. It's like, trying to explain what this company, and like I said, I'm not saying this company is bad. I'm not saying any of these companies that are on the screen are bad. It's just understanding how they're operating within the world.
Yeah. See, and I'm still just, like I said, my head, when you explained the money end of this to me a little while ago, it really set the gears flying in my mind.
Yeah.
$350 quadrillion is, I can barely wrap my head around $1 billion. I mean, I understand the concept of the money. Yeah, that's not so much of a problem. But the actual amount.
It's really scary. It's really scary.
$350 quadrillion is quite literally enough to buy the world. You could go to whatever government you wanted to and say, "Hey, I'll give you a quadrillion," or any dictator out there would gladly sell his country off for its worth.
Yeah, and I mean, the way I try to put it in perspective is just, the United States is operate. We make about $3 trillion every year. We're up and down sometimes here and there, but roughly our country's GDP is about $3 trillion every year. Trillion, not quadrillion, trillion. And it's unfathomable, like how much. Yeah, that was what I was talking about. I didn't want to, Siegel, I wasn't going to touch on it too much, but the point was they're on there, so is Pfizer.
Mhm.
And they have
AstraZeneca.
AstraZeneca, they sell you the problem and the solution under the same umbrella, so they win on both ends. Like I said, I don't think that any of these companies are inherently bad or purposely trying to hurt anybody. It's just interesting. It's something to pay attention to.
Yeah, something that if it don't make you sit back and think a little bit, that just Oh man, I might actually have to look up quadrillion just to see how many goddamn zeros are in it.
I don't think you have enough fingers to count that high.
I don't. I know this.
Loki only has 7 fingers, so if it's more than 7 zeros, he's out.
Oh shit.
Yeah, it's one of those really interesting things. And yeah, Dan, I did see you were talking about Vanguard. And Vanguard is another one, and they control a lot as well. But when it comes to in comparison, it's like they're not even on the same level as BlackRock.
Yeah, no, Dan. It's put that up. I said BlackRock is actually larger than Vanguard, and below Vanguard is State Street, which is another one just like Vanguard and BlackRock, just a little smaller. Though they are gaining traction very quickly.
Yeah, and what I find interesting too about BlackRock, this company, or it's not really a company. Like I said, it's a conglomerate of investors. They were founded in 1988, so they amassed this since 1988.
I said when you said that earlier, that caught my attention. I was like, wait a minute, they got this big just since 1988? Fuck me.
Yeah, it's crazy. But what I'll say about some of that stuff is if they do manipulate stocks, and I'm not saying they do or don't, but if they manipulate stocks, they basically can steal from anybody that invests, and then they can buy in and sell. So like if they have an investing stake in everything, they could sell off a whole bunch, tank a stock, and then buy it back at a reduced rate.
Yeah. They very easily pick any corporation up there. They sell off, like you were saying earlier, 30% of the stock. That stock crashes because so much of it has all of a sudden hit the market. Well, they can turn around and buy that 30% of the stock back plus another 30% for pretty much the same amount of money.
Yeah. And I suspect that they probably have done things like that. I mean, you look at what happened with Target, you look at what happened with Bud Light. These companies didn't just sit there and be like, how can we lose 28% of our value? Let's do that. That seems like a good idea. There's no way that Target sat back and saw what happened to Bud Light and they're like, let's do the same thing.
Stacks, I don't know if Chick-fil-A is on the list, but I wouldn't doubt it.
I could look that up for you if you'd like after this live. Like I said, they own 4,751 companies. It's all stuff you
companies.
Yeah, and by own, they still have the people that founded and made these companies. It's just they buy the controlling stock of these said companies.
Yeah.
Coronavirus apparently owns Pfizer. Uh-oh. So he's one of the seven founders of BlackRock, apparently. Coronavirus, you're Larry Fink, aren't you? So we just
Oh,
doxed coronavirus. We figured
there's
it
just
out.
coronavirus right there. Oh, yeah.
No,
That's kind of where my mind is at right now, man. The scale of like I say, I knew BlackRock was big into all this stuff, along with State Street. Well, State Street I just discovered here in the last few days, but BlackRock and oh hell, Vanguard were big into this stuff. But the scale, $350 quadrillion. I did. Hey,
yeah,
I'm saying actually, I think my estimate of 350 times the U.S. GDP was woefully short.
yeah, Dan. That the laws do prevent an owner from doing that, but not a controlling stake stockholder.
Yeah, and that's only in the United States and probably a few other countries as well. But those are U.S. laws that you're thinking of. Damn. I'm just curious what Vanguard and State Street's actual values are. I'm gonna have to look that up. Oh damn it. Um, and I mean, if you look at this overlay that we've got up there, like I say, and these are just like 100 or so of the top companies that BlackRock has investments in or controlling investments in. But there is literally everything under the sun covered by these companies listed here. Everything from the news to entertainment, building, fuel, uh, hell.
Yeah, yeah.
Pieces
Vanguard is. Sorry. I just saw Janie's comment.
Oh, go for it.
Yeah, Vanguard. So that's more than double the U.S.'s GDP, which is very impressive, and they have a big market too. But you're talking BlackRock is 3.61 quadrillion. So like we're talking small time versus big time. Like Vanguard's no joke either, but this is way on a completely different level.
Yeah. I mean, 8.1 trillion is still, I mean, Vanguard alone could buy the United States if they so chose. Probably Canada too.
And Canada doesn't even want Canada, so
Well, there's that. And
all
yes,
the famous Canadians all moved down here. Pam Anderson, Justin Bieber, fucking Tom McDonald. They're like, fuck Canada, I'm moving to U.S.
fair. Oh, even Corey Hart moved down to the United States.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, saying, like I said, these are just like their top 100. So, I mean, just over on the right hand corner, they got MSN, CNN, Fox, and Time Warner. That pretty much covers all of the major network in practice today.
Well, then you have Netflix over there as well. And I know that there was another, Comcast. So Verizon, it's just when you're consuming visuals, most of it's owned by one corporation.
Yeah. I mean, I'll be honest. I've got to open this list up and have a look at some of this shit a little closer. I say, but yeah, every aspect of your life is controlled by these people: Microsoft, Amazon, PayPal, Walmart, Chevron, Exxon, Verizon. They've got your fuel, your entertainment, your news, the shit you build with. Uh,
You know,
med-
most people shop for food at Walmart, and so
yeah.
that's a big one right there, Walmart. Jacksonville Joe wants an Exxon for Christmas.
Yeah. I gotta buy some headphones and an Exxon. Yeah.
Do you do you want just a single gas station, or you want the whole company?
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, do you want a state's worth of Exxon, or do you want all of Exxon?
Yeah, Dan, we will dive into more of those things later, but we were
Yeah.
trying to set this show as the foundation for going into these other things. So when we go into, say, the Maui fires or other things,
Uh-huh.
we'll be able to tie back and be like, that's a company owned by BlackRock or Vanguard. And it'll make sense, not just we're up here spouting crazy tinfoil hat stuff. We're kind of just setting the foundation because we're going to get into a lot of these topics: 9/11, Pearl Harbor, um, the first Iraq War, and different topics that are of conspiratorial nature. But when we do that, there needs to come from. It just can't be two guys just saying random shit.
Yeah, we want to delay, like Mike was saying, a background or a foundation to the stuff that we want to talk about. Maui in particular, there is a whole lot of interesting there, and just at some basic digging, a majority of the companies that are trying to buy up Maui, for example, right now, gee, guess who they all tie back to? I mean, granted, I haven't looked at all of them, but the half dozen that I did look up, controlling interest by BlackRock.
What's up, Chance? Good to see you, man.
Chance, hey brother, good to see you.
I'm glad we hit a topic you're interested in. This is what the Mike and Loki conspiracy hour is supposed to be about, and we'll definitely dive into everything that anybody comes up with. But we just don't want to just come up here and just spout some random craziness and say this is fact or fiction. Come with some kind of information that you can see why we think or feel a certain way.
Yeah, I say, and that's it in a nutshell right there, Dan. Most people don't even know who the hell BlackRock or any of these other major conglomerates are, because they don't advertise for the most part. They're not out there making waves to get noticed. They're working behind the scenes to get all this done. Which, hey, most businesses conducted in that manner. But at the same time, $350 quadrillion? Holy shit. Uh,
Yeah. And what I'll say too about a lot of this is, in just on a smaller scale, your doctors don't make money if you're not sick. And it's the same thing for all these companies. These companies don't make money unless you need a product.
yeah.
And so sometimes they'll create a problem and they have the solution. And as you can see out here, they sell you a pandemic with the news corporations, and then they sell you the solution 3 months later with their companies. So they're making money on both ends. That's just a small example. But
Oh, holy. I keep. And Stacks, the Rothschilds, that's. I mean, they have international holdings and they probably do have their feet into BlackRock, but I'd say they're probably pretty small beans in the grand scheme of things.
Right. Yeah, when you're talking about the kind of money they have. But I mean, there's the other thing that I've noticed myself recently is there's just been a lot of billionaires over the last like 3 or 4 years. A lot of billionaires have just been mysteriously dying. Now, some of them seem plausible, but it is just a lot more than you really have ever seen before. Hey, all the new people coming in, welcome.
Real quick, Mike, check back chat.
You got it. Yeah, we can send it to them.
All right.
But absolutely. We got 20 minutes, so we'll bring them up.
All righty. Hang on a second. Where'd he go? Right there.
Like I said, we will get into vastly different things later on, but currently we're just this particular one. We want to focus kind of just on this topic for today.
Who are these people come what?
I think somebody dropped a community post because they all came in saying the same thing. So whoever did that, thank you, appreciate it.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Yeah, they all came in saying the same thing, and I appreciate all you guys coming by.
Yeah.
Amy, don't talk like that to me in front of Dan. He's gonna get upset.
I think this is one individual with several accounts, judging by the cut and paste responses.
That's all good, man. Appreciate the comments.
What's up, Colt?
What's up, gentlemen?
What up, man? How you doing?
I'm all right.
Oh,
Yeah, I already know this is one of the shows that you appreciate being a part of.
I only got one tab open. No, I got more than one tab open?
I don't hear an echo.
Okay.
No, I don't hear an echo.
Should I leave this up or go ahead and drop it down?
Do you want to speak on BlackRock 2, JR, or are you just coming up to because like we were trying to do today is just hit the
okay.
What's that?
My bad.
Okay. He was having an echo on his end.
Yeah, it was me. I'm an idiot.
Okay.
Okay, so the company I used to work for, that when a manufacturing company, at the time, he is again, but at the time, he was the largest privately owned molding or injection molding manufacturer in the world. And he was approached first by Vanguard about buying stock and wanting to buy some shares or to see if maybe he needed help expanding. And then after, I think it was about 4 years after that is when BlackRock approached him. And he's just absolutely, nope, I'm good. And from what I understand, I wasn't there. I wasn't part of that shit. Obviously, I was just a manager. I wasn't part of anything else. So I didn't have jack shit to do with, financing or anything like that. But they put the screws to him pretty good about wanting to do it.
And what's interesting too is if they do give up their controlling stake, you may own a company, but you don't really get a say in what happens going forward.
Yeah.
So the company, he bought a company in over in Europe, and he went in, paid like $43 million cash for this place, and basically told the owner that owned it at the time to get out. And the lawyers that he had at the time did not tell him that him buying this company for $43 million with a cashier's check would basically wrap up $43 million of his money for 10 years. So he bought this injection molding company over in Europe and he could not take any of the profits he made from Europe out of the country for 10 years.
Damn.
Dang, man.
So he basically, I mean, all the plants over here in the U.S., well, the U.S. based part of it, because he's got stuff in Australia and South Africa that he owns, but so the injection molding company or plants that he owned here ended up suffering, went into bankruptcy, and then Vanguard and another
State Street.
something like that. That might have been it. Came in and like bought him out of bankruptcy, and he wasn't a part of it because they bought him out. Well, they had no idea what the hell they were doing. By that time, I'd already left. As soon as the old owner wasn't a part anymore, I was done because they started taking everybody's benefits and changing everybody's benefits to jack shit benefits and stuff. And I was ready to go anyway, so it was time for me to walk.
Yeah.
They did not know what to do. First off, you have 53 injection molding plants that all make different parts, that all have different part numbers, and you've got anywhere from 80 to 280 machines, injection molding machines in there in each plant. And they did not know what they were doing. I mean, to the point where they weren't buying toilet paper for people. People were bringing toilet paper in from home.
Oh, damn.
So they went under. And then he bought everything back for pennies on the dollar. He all owns it now. Privately, all owns it all now. He's changed the name of the company here in the United States, but it's still all owned by the same dude. And it's the same dude who started this company with one injection molding machine.
Damn.
And he's a single largest privately held injection molding company in the world. So nobody else, it's his family. Him and his family are the only ones who own enough interest in it that they could fucking do any kind of damage to the company.
Hey, Loki, I got to step down for a second. I'll be right back.
All right.
But yeah, from what I understand, like when BlackRock came in, they were like legit, like, because they own DuPont and stuff like that, and all injection molding companies, where do you think they get their plastic from?
Yeah.
Is
Well,
DuPont.
not only that, but
So DuPont was jacking the prices up on him and everything. So he was like scrambling and buying material from where we're really kind of not supposed to at the time. We're buying like recycled materials from recycling plants and stuff like that. You're not really supposed to. Not for car interior parts anyway. For exterior parts, it's fine. Interior parts, it's supposed to be raw material that's never been molded before,
because of the off-gassing and whatnot.
Yeah. Well, not only that, but for impact and stuff like that. So if it's like an airbag cover or something like that, so the airbag seam splits right and stuff like that.
Right. And just to give people a little bit of perspective on injection molding, injection molding could be anything from the magazines that go in your rifle to the bumpers on your car to the trim throughout your house.
The roofing for your house,
the roofing,
garbage cans, everything. We like made not only car parts, we made freaking garbage cans for different plants and stuff. Frisbees, just stupid, ridiculous stuff that you would never think that an auto manufacturing plant, because that was our main focus, was, GM, Chrysler, and Ford. But, the company that he bought over in Europe, they did mostly Audi, Volkswagen, and BMW.
Okay. They had the higher end market, huh?
Yeah, and that's why he bought that place. But the lawyers that he had did not tell him that, okay, yeah, you can buy this thing, but you're leveraging all your companies here in the States, and then you're not going to be able to take any of the money that you do make from this company that was successful to begin with, and you're not going to be able to take any of the money out.
Right.
I'm back.
So after the 10 years was up, he basically walked into another fairly large injection molding company that was privately held here in the United States. He walked in, basically did the same thing, but with a cashier's check that wasn't backed. It was just backed by currency from the money that he made from that company over in Europe, and told everybody in the top management to get out because they were struggling at the time. And then he bought that company, and then now he's bought all his old plants back except one. And I know why he's not buying the one plant back. It's because it's a shithole and the floor's caving in.
Hmm.
But he owns every single plant now that he used to own back here in North America, basically, except for one. And the only reason he didn't buy that back is because the floor was caving in everywhere, and you can't have 25,000 ton injection molding machine sitting on a floor that's caving in.
Damn.
But yeah, it was when they came in, and because I still had friends that stayed, and I have friends that stayed through everything, even through the shutdown, and then when he reopened the company, and then they went back, and they just said it was just hell. I mean, to where the company before, I used to get every 5 years, if you were a 5-year employee, you got a diamond ring with the company logo on it. If you were a man, it was a men's ring. If you were a woman, it was a woman's ring. And then every 5 years you worked for the company, you could either get another ring, or you could give your ring back and they would put a bigger diamond in it. So
Man.
I have 2 rings and one with a bigger diamond in it.
Nice.
Man.
Yeah.
Interesting. Hey, Holly.
Hey, Holly.
And that was just but also, like I've got gold pens and stuff like that for perfect attendance and stuff like that. And, I'd get like bonus awards because of how many hours I worked. If I worked over a certain amount of hours in a month, I'd get a bonus.
Right.
Because I was going above and beyond. Well, I got those bonuses every month because, especially before I hurt my back, I was a workaholic and greedy. So if you're going to pay me $74 an hour, I'm going to work 90 hours a week.
I mean, yeah, I've done similar things myself.
Oh yeah. Okay. If you're going to do it, I'm going to take advantage of it. And I had a contract, so I individually signed my own contract every year, and so they could never put me on salary.
It's amazing that your buddy was able to stand up to these big corporations.
Well, he's not my buddy. He was my boss. He was the owner of the company. By far not my buddy. I mean, legit. Like, he's quite a bit older than I am, but yeah, he just wouldn't do it. He wouldn't take it. He said he didn't need the help. He didn't need the help until he basically lost it in bankruptcy because he couldn't survive without help. And then instead of just them helping him to take it or to take over or to help, they basically just took it and bought him out of bankruptcy. But when that company, I don't know what you call it. It was almost like they sent in like supposedly a specialist firm to be able to run the company. They had no fucking idea what they were doing. They had no idea anything about injection molding or nothing. I think they just figured that they were going to rely on the people that were there. But all the people that were there that were loyal to the original owner, when he wasn't the original owner, they left. So he, like just jobbers and like people that didn't have any ambition were the ones who stayed.
Right.
So those people were relying on them to run the plants, and those are not the people that you want running a plant.
Generally not.
No. And that's why, and it was only a few years. I think it was like 3 to 5 years. And then they went under, and then he just started buying everything back. Like, F you, it's mine. So the company is now under 3 different banners, but it's all under one. So if you look the way you look it up, if you were to look it up, it's under 3 separate banners, but it's all under one group, and it's his group. So it's not, yeah. And if you looked up, like if you go through like the list and stuff like that, but all you have to do is go through the list, and it's all his family members and family members that are, or family members through marriage. Easiest way to explain it.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So that one family member will hold the lease on a building, even though he owns it. And then a different family member will own a different building, but he holds the lease on the building. So he buy, or one other family member own it, and then he'll lease it to them, but it's all the same company.
I saw the list. I saw the list you sent, Amy. Like I said, we'll get into more stuff like what you sent me, but we were trying to keep this kind of the foundational for our future shows. So when we talk about, say we talk about Microsoft down the road, we can preface BlackRock, and people can go back and rewatch this episode where we're talking about this.
They've got their hands and everything.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Did you catch the numbers on this?
Oh
earlier?
yeah, I was listening.
All right, Holly, since you just came in, Sony Music is small potatoes. So just to repeat the numbers again, BlackRock is managing more than 3.16 or 3.61 quadrillion dollars. They control 4,751 companies in a Fleming portfolio. Now, to make, like I've said before, the United States' GDP, what we produce every year, is only about $3 trillion.
Yeah.
So put that in perspective. Sony is insanely small potatoes in comparison to what this group owns and controls.
Oh, absolutely. Even the company that I work for, which is the largest privately held injection molding company in the world, is just a drop in the bucket compared to what they have.
Yeah,
he makes millions a year. That's it. Compared to trillions and trillions and quadrillions or whatever it's called.
Hey,
Holly, it's a group of people. It was founded in 1988. I can't say a lot of the names, but I can give you a couple of names. Larry Fink was one of the founders. Susan Wagner, Barbara Novick, Keith Anderson. There's 7 people that control it. So, well, at least founded it. There's other people that help control it, but it's interesting that they were able to amass this kind of power since 1988.
Some of those names can get you bounced off YouTube.
Oh yeah.
So, well, I'm not talking bad about any of these people. I'm just saying that these are the facts.
I know, but I've heard, podcasts and stuff like that say stuff about, some of the people that own BlackRock and Vanguard and stuff like that. And then a couple of days later, their channel's gone.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, we may see that, but
if not, you guys can just have mine. There's four or five videos on there. Just change the subject.
Oh.
Apparently, the dude just doxed himself too. Which one of those names are you, the dude? You're Keith Anderson, aren't you? We found out coronavirus was Larry.
Oh, son of a bitch.
And yeah, Dan, that's kind of the point that I'm at.
I think coronavirus is the original bat, and he just figured out how to use the computer. He was the bat that they were blaming everything on.
Oh, the one that supposedly escaped the lab. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, first it was bat soup, and then bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
Did you see the mosquito thing?
Yeah.
Oh my God! What the fuck are they doing? Putting the vaccine and other stuff in mosquitoes, and then let them go.
Well, they don't want any of us purebloods running around anymore.
Yeah, well, tough shit. Because I ain't been bit by a mosquito. I don't have time to be outside.
I say, well, I ain't taking no damn jab. That's for damn sure.
No. I can't. I'm allergic to the stuff that's in that they have to float it in.
Oh, okay.
So that's the stuff that could mess me up. So it's not so even like the hang on a minute, I'll get it. Like the flu shot. I can't even get a flu shot. So when I was vaccinated, I ended up in hospital for like 7 days. And then when I moved to the U.S., I got revaccinated, which obviously I did not know that when I was a little kid, I ended up in the hospital. And I had to call my mom from the hospital and tell my mom that I was really sick and I was in the hospital because I had to get revaccinated, and she freaked out because I wasn't supposed to be. Because that's when they found out I was allergic to the stuff that they have to float vaccines in to make them live or whatever.
Yes, Victoria, it's JR.
Yeah, sorry, guys.
Oh, it's all
I
good.
just got home from work and I still have a company shirt on. Not fast. I already got my name's already out there. I'd rather not just advertise my shop too.
Oh well, we still got the banner up, so nobody even sees you right now.
Oh, that's fine.
But yeah, we hit our hour mark. I don't know if you want to wrap it up, and we'll get back into some more stuff next week.
Yeah, and I just wish you guys. If not, I'll fucking try and skate out. There's a bunch of this stuff I'm into. A bunch of it, obviously, I send you guys shit instantly. Sorry.
Oh, it's all good. I say no. I appreciate the enthusiasm on it actually, because
Oh yeah.
I mean, like I say, I've known a lot of this stuff myself for a while, but the scope of it has just sat me on my ass today.
Yeah, and now like the thing that they did you oh fuck. So I know like BlackRock is one of the companies that own like almost all the major telecom companies.
Oh yeah, they're most of them are listed up there: Verizon, Qualcomm, MSN, CNN, Fox.
Yeah, but no, like telecom, so like telephone companies. So they're like they hold controlling interest in Sprint and AT&T and Verizon and all these freaking companies. There's only a couple that they don't hold interest in, but those companies that they don't hold interest in are still using their towers. So how much control do they have? Because the what's a Mint Mobile, and there's another one. Oh crap! It's like Patriot USA or something like that, are ones that aren't that are privately held, but they're still using their towers.
Exactly.
So how much power do they have?
Them on each of those towers.
Exactly. So. Yeah. So how much power do they have to use their towers?
Yeah.
To be able to say, hey, you can't fucking do that with your money. You got to do this.
Well, exactly. And how independent is a company that literally has to buy their time on somebody else's?
Yeah, somebody else's machinery, basically.
Yeah.
So yeah,
they have to rent access
crazy.
to that infrastructure.
Yep.
Oh, hey, Ashley.
That's like the if there's I don't remember what the hell there. It's basically the giant transformers that are in the U.S. If one of them gets popped, and they've already shown that they can, that but like a good third of the country. There's only like 8 of them in the U.S. If one of them gets hit, and it takes them 5 years to build one.
Yeah.
Guess how many backups we have?
None.
One. We have one backup.
Oh, we do have a backup.
Well, there's some stuff that I know too about that we'll touch later in the future. But there's only 5 power grids in this country.
Yeah.
So Texas is its own, and then it's kind of split up like a cross.
Yep.
But there's 5 power grids in this country, and like I said, Texas is its own.
Yeah.
I say Texas was smart about that. They limited the issue to within their own state.
Yeah.
And even then, they're still attached to the others.
But yeah, they're still hooked to Louisiana and Florida and wherever else that it touches. They still either sell power or are leasing power out to whatever they're not using to the other states.
Exactly.
Amy, that's to be expected in what we're talking about. So just ignore it.
Yeah.
What?
Oh,
when we touch on certain subjects, that's gonna happen.
I don't know.
Let's see. Yeah, whether it's legitimate or not, who knows?
Yeah.
But yeah, we kind of expected. Go ahead.
I said, with that being said, though, we should wrap this one up, and we'll be back again next week with another thing. We won't
see if I can bounce and get my business partner to come for me something so I can listen to the whole goddamn show instead of just catching 3/4 of it. I didn't realize you guys are live until you guys are like 3/4 or halfway through already.
Oh, that's all good, brother.
It's all good. We appreciate you, JR.
Absolutely. Yeah. Thank you, guys. Bye, everybody in chat, even though I can't see who's in chat.
I said, but we appreciate all the views from the bots and the real people alike out there. I I guess we'll talk to y'all next time around. Appreciate
All
you.
right, y'all have a good one.
Peace.